Hi everyone. Um, I just wanted to say I meant to do a video yesterday because this is like part 2 of the other one, and I just want to let you guys know I think that the reason I've been so delayed about it is because I think that this is the hardest part. Like, I don't mind sharing things, and I'm ready and willing to. I feel okay about sharing my signs and the things that happened that led up to that day and everything. But I think what's holding me up is the fact that to talk about that day. It's not that I don't feel like I relived it by talking about it. It's just a weird feeling. It's just like if that feeling of impending doom. So when I talk about my signs and other things that happen in the home and other things that happen, it's just I didn't feel like impending doom. I mean, I can talk about that, even though there were a few times I felt pretty bad. But the day of, talking about the day of was just, it's horrible to talk about. So I just want to get through that, and I'm getting better. I've changed rooms. I'm getting in different rooms of the house every day, trying to move around a little bit. Okay, so I want to say is after the coroner told me that he was the coroner, and I went into like a complete shutdown mode, like almost like a shock. And I just remember doing this with my hands. I kept doing this, and I kept like looking around, and it was really weird. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't remember a lot from that day. I don't remember a lot of little details. I just remember some things that they said to me that I'll never forget. So anyway, uh, he said he was asking me questions about not only like when was the last time I seen or heard from my son. He wanted to know, like, did I remember what he was wearing, or where he might have been going, or who he was with. I mean, it was like under the hotlight. I didn't know. I couldn't figure anything out. Even after he told me he was the coroner, it kind of hit me real hard, but yet I was still just in a daze. I kind of like, I don't know, I just didn't feel myself, obviously, so I don't know. But anyway, we just kept talking. They were at my house approximately 2.5 hours, and then they said something about, if they had, they seen my doorbell thing, and they knew that I had a camera, and this is like even a couple hours in, and they said that they want to know if I could look up on my camera, if so we could see when he left and what he was wearing. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I never thought of that. It took us 2 hours to figure that out. And lucky for me, I mean, I can only go back 5 days because I don't pay a lot of money to have any of that extra footage. I just go back 5 days. So we pulled up my camera, and you can see my son putting his shoes on and getting in the car and driving off and never coming back, because we fast forwarded the whole video through the night, and he just never came back. So it's not like I thought he was at home in bed and then got up early and left. That just never happened. At that point in time, when the coroner and the police officers seen that my son was putting red shoes on, uh, they knew that that was my son, because what happened was that the camera on the outside, it was dark, so it was that like night vision, and night vision is black and white. You don't know what color shoes he has on. But an inside camera, as you open the door, the light shines, and you see color. And so at that point in time, you can see red shoes from the light. And so they were like, 100% sure that this was my son, and they were trying to tell me that while they were asking for dental records, or who's his dentist, who's his doctor. I mean, like I said, under the hot light, all these questions. So um, they were asking me all those questions, and sorry, I just need a minute. Uh, yeah, hang on a second. I can't think what I was saying. I'm sorry. when they were asking those questions. Oh yeah, when he said he was 100% sure that it was my son, they said that he said right before he left, he said that the next step is to call the funeral home. And I was just like, at this point in time, I'm still like, I'm still thinking my son's going to come home. This has to be some mistake. Because even though they were so sure it was him after looking at the red shoes and everything, and they still had to wait to get a positive ID back on from DNA test, but they were just so sure that, he was like, you need to call a funeral home tomorrow. This has to be taken care of right away. At that point in time, I had my mom, some people, my mom was here, and because she came over because they asked me if I'd call somebody, I called her. She came over, and uh, when they were here right before they left, and was standing in the kitchen, and I was kind of like looking around the kitchen, and everybody was still by the front door. My mom, the coroner, the police, everybody was just like in that little circle talking. And then I seen my daughter pull up, and some people pull up, my granddaughters, and pull up in a car. And somebody went out there, I don't even know who, but I remember hearing it because I had the window cracked like this, just a little bit in the kitchen. And I always keep that little window cracked during the day. But anyway, so I just remember somebody saying, Jake is gone. He's gone. Jake is gone. And I was listening to that, looking out my window like that, and I seen my daughter fall to her knees. And then at that point in time, I took a step back and I started instantly sweating really bad. And it was really weird feeling. And everything looked really far away. It's like I felt like such impending doom. It was like a cloud. It's not like a cloud of darkness. It was just something was coming in on me, and I there was no way out. And nobody could help me. Nobody can ever help you in that situation. You could have poured boiling hot water on me or threw me in an ice tub bath, and I would have never known the difference. I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have felt it because you are in a different place and time. I felt like I wasn't even of this realm myself. I was sweating so bad that my shirt was starting to get wet, and everything was just really. I don't know. I can't even explain it, but there's nothing anybody could say. Nobody could hug you to make you feel better. It was just, you had to go through it. And that whole day, after the cops left and the coroner left and everything, and I had my mom and my daughter were making calls, and I don't even know who they were calling, whatever, and I didn't know what anybody was saying. All I know is that I couldn't hear them tell somebody. I said, I guess you better call people or something because I'm not even sure if this is real. So I went to my room and went to bed. And I closed my eyes, and I was just shaking so bad. And I was like, it's not true, it's not true, it's not true. And then I picked up my phone and I started texting my son, like, honey, where are you? I'm really worried, Is this, I'm praying this isn't a prank because I don't think you'd ever pull this type of prank on me. You love me too much to hurt me this way. And please answer your phone. I'm looking for you, please, And I just remember that, and they obviously were never answered and opened, but, it was even daylight. It was later that day in the afternoon. And I just was in and out of my bed, and people were in and out of my house. I don't even remember what happened after that. And I went to bed that night, and I don't even remember. I just don't remember anything. And after that, I was in a weird sleep, and was up every hour and a half to 2 hours. And telling myself, I would look in my son's room to see if he was there, and I was looking around the house to see who's here, and that's how it was. So anyway, that's what happened that day. And then for 2 to 3 days after, a good 2 days after, I was still like that, where I would look around and everything looked like it was really far away, and nothing looked real. And when I would wake up from my sleep or my hour and a half sleep or whatever, my shirt would be so wet, I'd have to change my shirt. I have to take it off. And weird things were happening to me. I started getting really sick shortly after that. I mean, not only dehydrated, but my eyelashes started falling out. I don't understand what was happening to me. I started getting a rash all over my body and red bumps. And I kept wanting to call 911. I didn't know what was happening. And my heart was pounding really hard. And then sometimes it would pound really fast. And then sometimes I couldn't feel my heartbeat at all. And sometimes I felt like my eyes were too big for my head. I couldn't blink. And my tongue felt funny. I couldn't, even water tastes funny. Actually, to this day, water kind of tastes a little funny. I feel like my taste buds were all burned and or something, and there's like lumps all over my tongue. And the stress really just, it took me down. And not only to mention that I had diarrhea for 49 days. I kept track of that. I mean, it was horrible. Uh, and then another weird thing that happened, which I'm sure there's a few more, but I can't think. But one of the weirdest thing that's happened is that, and this is really weird. It's almost kind of funny when I think about it, but I guess that's what stress does. But I actually grew 2 to 3 inches of hair under my arms. And I didn't know what happened, because here's the weird part. In my lifetime, I never grew hair under my arms. I never grew hair on the front of my legs from the knee up. And I never grew hair on the back of my legs from the knee down where my calves are. And my whole life has been like that. So to have 2 to 3 inches of long curly black hair under my arms with all this sweat, and I was starting to smell and everything. And this is just like, even like, a week after. It was weird. But I would sweat so much. The sweating was the worst part. I don't understand what happened. And I don't know why I would sweat so much. I mean, I wasn't even moving. I was laying still. So anyway, that's that. So I think that it's just hard to talk about that moment, like what happened that day, the night before, and the day of, and the day after, whatever. And then I get past that. I'm going to be okay. I'm getting better. I am. And because I have to. It's either that or lay down and die, because you want to die. You're in a very dark place. I can't begin to tell you how dark of a place that was. So when I sat there and think back at that video that I made where I said I'm going to kill myself, I was like, I don't even believe that was me. I don't believe I said that. I mean, you are in such a dark place. I can't describe how dark that is. And I don't mean dark visually. I just mean like dark. I don't know, scary, very weird, out of this world, out of this realm, out of something that I have never in my 60 years of life felt that. So that was hard. And it's been 2 months now, and I'm doing okay because I'm making myself move around, and I really appreciate you guys. And I think what saved me a lot was mainly just talking about it, and everybody just listening and knowing that you guys are there. And I can't just keep talking about how grateful it is I am for you guys. I just feel like I sound like an idiot repeating myself, but I just don't. Anyway, that's it for today. And I think that now that I'm past that, we can talk about other things. It's just that like I said, I'm not reliving that. It's just, it feels very strange to talk about that day, because up until a week ago, I still thought he was coming home. And I'm just, I still have my Christmas tree up, and, I'm still having a hard time, but I'm going to be okay. So thank you for all your prayers and everything, and we're going to get through this. I am feeling better. I get upset because I physically miss him, but in my heart, I feel good because, God, he's in God's hands. And I had a small, well, I'll call it small, but it's actually a very big miracle that happened around here about 10 days ago. And I'm going to talk about that too. And so that, ever since that day, I've been okay, because I know now it's okay. I just cry because I physically miss him. But, all right, you guys, we'll pick up in a day or two and start talking about everything. I just had to get past that part of everything. All right, I love you guys, and we'll talk soon. Thank you for watching.